This is Joe Malone. It is the Bulls Chat podcast. And joining us, our guest is the head coach, the general manager of the North Iowa Bulls, Todd Sanden. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Joe. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, it is feeling like hockey playoff weather when it's 80 degrees. You don't need a jacket to walk into the building, you know?
Yeah, no, it's been beautiful outside, and it's supposed to be the rest of the week, so we're excited about the weather.
Should be a good drive up to Bismarck, then. You don't have to worry about Bismarck blizzards or anything else going on, hopefully.
No, the weather looks pretty good for travel this weekend.
So coming up this weekend, which we'll get to those games in just a bit here, it is the finale of the regular season, the final of 6 straight games against Bismarck. We'll touch on Friday night's game, which was a 3-0 Bismarck win at Mason City, taking on the North Iowa Bulls. Bismarck scored something like 3 goals on their first 9 or 10 shots. They were outshot by the Bulls. There was, when you look at the numbers, it's like, how did the Bulls end up with no goals with that many shots? And I mean, there were opportunities, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those nights where you feel like you played pretty well, and you just didn't get the win. I mean, it's a little bit frustrating because you did carry the shot total. Now, in that, I don't think we had a ton of like grade A scoring opportunities. I think we probably really only had 5 to 7 grade A's, and you should score 1 or 2 of those. But we did outshoot them heavily, but just we didn't create really good scoring opportunities in it.
Now that script was flipped when we got to the beginning of Saturday night's game. Bulls score first, score second in the first, score again for the 3rd time in a row, and the beginning of the second period. And it's like, okay, cool. We can have a 3-0 lead, too. I like this. But then Bismarck starts building their comeback. They get a goal in the second. They end up picking up more goals in the beginning of the third, pick up a go-ahead goal to go up 4-3 with about 5 minutes to go in the third. And at that point, what's going on as far as the players, as the coaches, as you've seen this 3-0 lead disappear?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a bit more frustration at all levels, but, I mean, this is a team that's proven when there's time on the clock, you just got to keep pushing and keep striving to get a good result, and fortunately, we're able to tie that game up with just a few seconds remaining.
Yeah, 7 seconds left. There's a scramble in front of the Bismarck net, maybe about 2 or 3 shot opportunities there, and then finally Nolan Abraham able to take the puck, find the back of the net, a dog pile from the players on top of him. I'm glad that he was able to make it out of that in one piece. And the building goes nuts. I don't know that I've ever yelled that loud in the press box. And, you're not supposed to cheer up there, but there was no stopping anybody from celebrating that goal.
It was so loud after that goal. Like, I don't think I've heard this building be that loud. Even with more people in attendance, it was electric after that goal.
Now that goal ended up being very important, sends the game into overtime, kind of a back and forth 3-on-3 overtime until there's about 40 seconds or so left when Bismarck kind of let the air out of the building. They scored the game winner in overtime. But let's focus on this. The point that the Bulls got was big because it keeps the Bulls in this quagmire of 3 teams all fighting for 2 positions. Well, actually, 5 teams fighting for 3 positions. This is a logjam unlike anything else going on in the NAHL with the division and the fact that there's only one team, Austin, guaranteed to make it to the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and like we've known this since Christmas. This division has been that tight, and it, from weekend to weekend, like you could move 2 spots almost every weekend of the regular season here with our division. So we're not surprised that it's this tight, but certainly would have liked to have come out of the weekend with more points to have us a little bit in a little better spot to make the playoffs.
Now, what is the mood of the team? What is the mood of you and Coach Murphy about? Are you feeling tension? Are you feeling pressure? Are you feeling focus? Like, what's the vibe going into this final weekend, knowing that 2 wins and you're in?
I think it's all of it. I think when as coaches, for sure, when you're not in a playoff spot and you're close to attaining it, there is a little bit of extra stress, a little bit of extra tension. But I think also you just have it's like we've been doing this our whole lives, so you just have to go out there and do what you do, and you have to be comfortable to play aggressive and willing to make mistakes to succeed. So, like, I think we were really excited to get that point in that game, even though, like, we were well in control of that game early on. Just to get that point coming out of there, that may be a huge difference in what happens in these standings in the last weekend of the regular season.
Now, forgive me if this is a dumb question, but do you like the pressure? Like, is it something that you can utilize?
You know what? I in my career, I've been in these situations a lot of times, and I think it's the more relaxed you are in this, and the more relaxed you can be, the better it is for your players and your team's opportunity to win. So I think I would love to have clinched a playoff spot a month ago, but these are why you play the games. I mean, our division is meaningful from day one to the last game of the regular season. So when you look at it, yeah, you'd like to have things wrapped up earlier, but I don't think anybody who plays a sport would say it's not fun to be playing all the way to the end to get something done.
Meaningful games all the way through. So last question for you. What's it going to take to get 2 wins up in Bismarck this weekend?
I think you got to start in the D zone. Like, we have to defend hard. We have to exit clean and with speed, coming through neutral ice with speed and control, not having to dump pucks, and then getting traffic in front of their goalie. Their goalie proved on Friday night that when he can see a puck, he's going to make the save. And just Saturday night, that was a bit of the difference. We got some traffic and chaos in front of him, and we were able to find the back of the net. So plenty of chaos in front of their net, and then just defending really hard and being clean on exits from the D zone.
Looking forward to it, and hoping that the Bulls are coming back home with 2 wins, and we don't have to do a bunch of math when it comes to tiebreakers and stuff like that. But yeah, Bulls versus Bismarck Friday night and Saturday night on the road, and then pay attention to the North Iowa Bulls social media channels as far as potential playoff matchups, games, times, and all that sort of stuff. So, Coach Sanden, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Joe. We appreciate the opportunity.